Okay, so today is the day of showcasing the mishaps. And so before I do any sort of like, here's this thing, here's that thing, this is what it's like just at the base value, how I got things working. So before we get into how things aren't working, basically I have one working controller and I've just disabled everything on this side. And so I have a little bit of stick drift, but so I just walk and use the default sort of situations. And you can see things are a little bit robotic, which is why this is so appropriate. But that's mostly because where normally you would have two controllers, and without full body tracking, in order to move around, you could do forward on one, and then you can turn with the other one for a more fluid momentum sort of thing. I, however, have to choose between going forward or turning. I mean, I can do kind of like a... Nope. I thought I could make that a little more clean, but I guess not, huh? So tank controls, basically. I either have to move forward or I get to turn. But it's really hard for me to do kind of a curved arc. Okay, so in any case, that's it. That's the base that's how I make this work at a base foundation. So now let's get into some of the more weirdnesses. Okay, so now I have the slime trackers on, calibrated. So now I just have to, theoretically, and I think, well, one thing at a time. So we'll activate the OSC. So we'll enable that. I'm not really sure what I'm looking at here. Uh-oh. Okay. But for some reason, my waist is on the wrong... So this is me going side to side. And obviously I'm going back and forth. So maybe I can just change that by just going whoop. Well, no, that's not really it. Sassy. Okay, so there's calibration things that I obviously need to figure out. Wow, okay. I'm also not 100% familiar with the calibration routine in here, at least. Okay, but I'm not really... So before, my knees would try to be here, which would make my knees try to be up here. Let's put on a different one. There's a wall back there. Let's put on one of those and see if we get the same sort of problem. Okay, so it's still... This one seems to be a little more... Ugh. Okay, let's see if I can get into like a low... Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my little nightmare creature. Let's see, where are you? Okay, so the where... Okay, so if I recalibrate, so if I go back, okay, so now things are not the same, but they're different. Okay, side, side, back, forward. It's like watching the full body version of Elmo kind of dance around in front of a blue screen to kind of edit out the poles and strings and stuff. Okay, so this is kind of there. Whoa, stop. That's the stick drift. Okay, so then if I go back to the little one, am I fixed? So if I look down, my feet are kind of in front, not like directly underneath me. But at least my ankle doesn't want to be 90 degrees this way. That's weird that being in another avatar kind of... Ugh. Oof. Okay, I mean, it looks weird from my perspective a little bit, but I think we're okay. On to the next problem, which brings my arm back, actually. Okay, so this is not me moving. I don't even know if walking sideways like this is possible with the way that I showed you previously. So I need to find some way to stop this. Let's see, how do I... Okay, so I'm in my hand menu right now. But yeah, so this is the reason why I take this hand off. But hey, look, see, I've got motion, it's tracking. I have a left arm. The only problem is now I'm like this, just getting dizzy, 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 which is half of the reason why I've got the camera situated over there, is so that you don't have to be subjected to this horrendous nightmare. Hiya. Okay, so I'm just going to spin here for a little while. So this is the reason why I generally take the battery out, which I will do in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so as you can see, my hand over here has fallen dead. Yeah, there's not a lot that I can do about that. I do have a theory as to how to fix that. But until then, we just take it off and remove the functionality of that scenario. So yeah, so those were sort of the problems that plague me. The first one wasn't really one, because I guess it solved itself, huh? I still need to fine-tune the settings and really sort of narrow in where I think the feet are, like the sensors and stuff like that. But at least in this recording, at least, we don't have my ankles trying to be my waist and my knees trying to be my chest. Woo! But yeah, so when it comes to this guy, this Star Wars Rebel Alliance looking, this guy needs some work, because obviously everything on it is still fine, except for this darn tootin' joystick. And I've tried various methods to fix it, to clean it out, per se, which is half of the reason why it's apart as it is. So I'm going to have to probably take it apart again. If I have time, in recap, my maladies are calibration and just the settings in general for full body tracking in things like VRChat, Resonite, other video games, dance dash. And then why do the bones are the way they are? I wasn't able to recreate that problem, so that might not actually be a problem. But again, sometimes my ankles want to be my waist and my knees want to be my chest. Um, and then this guy. So those are the three things that just off the top of my head I need to address, and then we can move on from there. And ironically, this one might actually be not the easiest, but the fastest to just sort of address and get out of the way. But that will be a video for another time.